Welcome back to a series so dumb, even Hassan subscribed. In today's video, Hassan is now being an absolute narcissist, making the Charlie Kirk assassination about himself. He's slandering even more people and talking about morality. Ethan is back on TikTok talking about the disgusting response of fellow lefties celebrating Charlie's death. Hassan clips are going viral on Twitter where he's advocating for violence numerous times. King of all jellyfish, Ludwig, has talked about the Charlie Kirk situation in the most spineless way possible, and his disgusting chat shares similarities to Hassan. A bunch of people are going viral for openly celebrating the assassination. Asmongold is going scorched earth on the psychos celebrating Charlie's death. Baldest man alive, Tectone, is calling out Hassan, and he's pretty angry. Subscribe, or Hassan becomes supreme overlord of the universe. Give it up for the rank #1 invertebrate, Ludwig.
Let's up those numbers!
Now let's begin with Hassan being an absolute narcissist, making the assassination about himself. Hassan talks about how his worldview leads to safer outcomes than that of Charlie Kirk.
You are the opposite of Charlie Kirk politically in a different reality. We'd be watching Charlie Kirk cover your death. Both sides are wrong. And people need to come together. No side is morally above the other. This does nothing to make us weaker as a country. Dog, my worldview does not revolve around consistently claiming that an ethnic group or any sort of inalienable characteristic or trait means that someone is inferior. Okay? There is no both sides on this. This is fucking delusional.
Yes, of course, Hassan never demonizes an entire group, guys. Mr. I support the Houthis, 10 toes down.
10 toes fucking down.
Yeah, so the Houthis, whose slogan says they want D to America and to end all the Jews, yeah, that's not hateful at all, guys. I don't support violence. I just support people who support violence, actually. We got the #1 Hamas and Hezbollah dick writer here saying he's the reasonable one. I don't support violence, guys, unless it's done by terrorists. Then I actually love it. Right, so this next part, he uses his classic tactic of slander anyone he disagrees with. And this is particularly heinous considering the dude just died.
People who just sit around and go, ha, both sides are the same is crazy. Charlie Kirk has spent a lifetime fucking talking about like how fearful he is of a black pilot, of the Civil Rights Act was actually a mistake. Like consistently trying to draw the clock of progress backwards to the best of his ability and to some success, as a matter of fact. People with no political convictions who cannot comprehend how different ideologies yield different outcomes just look at the situation from afar and go, these guys are both talking about politics. You're not wrong when you say I'm the opposite of Charlie Kirk politically, okay? You're not wrong about that at all. It's something that I say too. I am diametrically opposed to everything that he presented.
Okay, so obviously Hassan is doing his absolute best to smear this guy in any which way possible. Now, obviously, he had a lot of views that you can disagree with for sure, but relying on Hassan to give you the full context of these quotes is like asking a fish to fucking fly. This guy will give you the most disingenuous, lying, manipulative version of whatever was being said, and you just cannot trust him. And I just don't know why Hassan ever feels like he has the high ground to talk about morality. Dude, you support terrorists who kill innocent civilians. If we do the maths, Charlie was a civilian killed by most likely political motivation. He wanted to kill the apparent fascists, right? And Hassan seems to love that type of stuff usually. So I'm very shocked that he ever said he was against it, honestly, because all of his rhetoric points to the fact that he would support this. When Charlie died, you came up with 101 ways to justify it, implying that he had it coming and that he deserved it.
He has played a formative role in his own demise by playing a part in a media landscape, in a media environment that normalizes this death and destruction.
You did your little fake little cry there with 0 tears in order to get people off your back, but then immediately went back to the propaganda. In fact, your chat still justifies it. It was absolutely insane, the fucking loonies you have fostered. Here we got some Illuminati emojis, false flag and the sus emoji staged. Oh no, Charlie down, wee-oo, See you. No Fed posting. I'm not upset. Laughing again. Finally, some good news. Remember when Hassan called Jews inbred? This shitstain wonders why people hate him. Exhibit A. He can't stand a difference in opinion and will always want to make himself the face of change, even though he's anything but that. Gutting these people in the street doesn't strike me as a safer outcome. Yeah, we'll get to that. Basically, a bunch of clips of Hassan are going viral. We'll get to it. Don't worry. This worldview, Hassan, is just like waving a gun. Moving on to Hassan crying about Ethan. Basically, Ethan was calling out Hassan for still not facing any consequences on Twitch for, you know, advocating violence and being anti-Semitic. Hassan responds to Ethan going at him for his behavior on Twitch.
I think he's like trying to like design like a reasonable liberal position for himself, where he just like actively says like the real evil in this country is not the Trump administration or reactionary conservatism, but instead is you know, Hassan Abi Piker and others like him. It's the Twitter leftists that he thinks are the primary villains here.
Yes, you are the villain, Hassan. You are literally responsible for this type of radical shit happening. You consistently brand your enemies as Nazis, as fascists, and you call anyone you disagree with these slanderous terms. You call them PDF files. And your chat and viewer base is even more crazier than you. They totally get the message and they go, hey, I'm actually a good person for eliminating this Nazi, this fascist, these PDF file, you know? And then they go in real life and commit some heinous type of shit. So that's what people are pointing out. The fact that you are so unbelievably careless with these type of labels. Who is the fascist according to Hassan? Let's see. Asmongold, Tectone, XQC, Ethan, basically anyone that disagrees with him even slightly. If you had any semblance of remorse for what you've done, how much damage you've actually done to the world, you would retire immediately. You know, you would stop your disgusting propaganda content and you would stop advocating violence. In fact, you're just lucky you're not in prison at this point. It's only a matter of time with the type of shit you've said and done. You threatened Klein, his wife, you freaking insect, and he claims to be the victim. Holy shit, it makes me sick. Yeah, he's always wondering, why is Ethan calling me out? Maybe because you said his wife was a valid military target.
Doesn't matter if it's your favorite podcaster's like wife that participate in these raids. The violence that the Palestinians engage in an act of resistance against this illegal occupying force is literally legal, definitionally legal. Okay? It's just the truth.
Moving on to Ethan. Ethan has made his return to TikTok. Here he talks about leftists cheering on Charlie Kirk's passing.
If you consider yourself a gun control activist and you find yourself cheering on the assassination of Charlie Kirk, then you are the problem. Being a principled activist means staying true to the whole point of the cause. The point is to reduce gun violence. Everybody has a right to not be shot when they go outside. Even the people who advocate for more guns. Because the principle is what's important. We're protecting everybody or we're protecting nobody. We don't get to make distinctions about who is a valid target for being shot if you actually believe in gun control and lowering gun violence. If you're gleeful in the face of what happened, not only are you a sick, demented human being, but I want you to know that I despise you, and I hope you will never watch my videos ever again.
That is the actual good response to when you see someone celebrating the death of a civilian. Good on Ethan, man. He's really separating himself from the scourge that is Hassan and his extremist lefty side of politics. You can just see the absolute complete difference in someone with empathy and someone like Hassan who uses any opportunity to get political points. And the things I've seen online are so crazy, like he deserved it because he advocated for gun rights. Dude, you're allowed to have a difference in opinion. He never advocated for his political opponents to be assassinated. This event has truly like opened my eyes to the absolute disgusting nature of some people and the consequences of people like Hassan and the media, the constant media manipulation going on, right? It really seems like demons walk among us. And, you know, these might have been regular people at one time, but they've consumed so much of this social media content, so much of Hassan Piker rhetoric that they have actually become his trained zombies, essentially. He's completely right. If you take joy in killing or murder, you're not a good person. I can't believe this is a hot take these days. As someone who's never considered himself right-wing and always laughed at the idea idea. I will say this entire situation has been eye-opening for me. I was starting to agree with Ethan's takes. Now I'm a fan. Ethan scolds Hassan for pushing conspiracies about Charlie Kirk's shooter, who we now know is 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. Hassan is crafting the narrative that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Netanyahu, Israel was not behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That's a weird thing to say. This can't be real. Could Israel be behind Charlie Kirk's death? Oh my god. Dude, I'm so done with this guy. This is such a weird title to have, man. Hassan, but the shooter is real? The shooter is real? Is real? Oh, classic. Right, moving on to the shooter's ammunition. He had these engravings written on them. Notices bulges. Oh, whoa, what's this? Hey, fascist catch. There's like a Helldivers thing. Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao. I only know this from Money Heist, the show. It's like some anti-fascist like song or something. If you read this, you were gay. Right, I think it's pretty obvious this is some unhinged fucking lunatic freak. And obviously Hassan is immediately trying to say this is some right-wing person or something. Honestly, I don't even know what the heck this is. This is some cringe ass like, oh dude, notices bow. Like, is that like furry shit or Here we got Shoe on Head talking about it. She's a left-wing creator. This guy says one guy acted alone and they want to go to war. It's like they were looking for any reason. Hey pal, you just blowing from stupid town? One guy acted alone. Then we saw the reaction of millions. Some posting with their full names and faces. Teachers, childcare workers, healthcare workers, HR professionals, game developers, hundreds of thousands of people that walk amongst us every day who live next door to us. People I thought were friends. People I thought were normal people celebrating the gruesome public execution of a father shot in the freaking throat in front of his young children. Celebrating because he politically does not agree with them. We saw their real beliefs when the in this house believe shitlib mask was ripped off. Sociopathic freaks. I mean, this is a left-wing person saying this shit as well, dude. It's like, it's pretty obvious at this point that anyone who doesn't condemn this is just completely insane. And I feel like if you are that far into politics, you really need a level of mental assessment. You need to, you know, log off, touch grass, and not be so unbelievably hateful. Finding 1,000,001 ways to justify it, taking 500 quotes of him out of context. Moving on to Hassan clips going viral all over Twitter. People are catching on to the numerous times this piece of shit has advocated violence. Nobody calls for violence more explicitly or frequently than Hassan.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott, okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, you wouldn't make him the current, what is his current office? What is he? He's the Richard Lynn Scott, is an American attorney, businessman, politician, Navy veteran, serving as the senior United States Senator from Florida, a seat he has held since 2019.
It's hurt poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
My understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
I'm sick and tired of it. Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the fuck is this shit, man? Slice them up, slice them and fucking dice them. What the fuck is this?
874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like, that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. Like, he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more radical.
Yeah, the classic Mr. I never advocate violence. Mr. I'm so much better than Charlie Kirk. My worldview is so much better. I'm just thinking, what would happen if right after Hassan said, you know, K. Rick Scott, right? If somebody went and actually killed him, wouldn't Hassan be under investigation? Like Hassan is just lucky nobody was crazy enough to actually do that, because he would actually be investigated. He would be thrown in prison. It's just ridiculous this guy is allowed to do this over and over and over again, and he just doesn't stop. By the way, this guy is so hypocritical. He's advocating for the death of his own mom, who is also a landlord. You just can't be serious, bro. What kind of a loony, absolute psycho freak actually says that? How? I just don't get it. Like, this is the most unfair shit I've ever seen in my life. Twitch CEO Dan Clancy gooning to this as we speak. Hassan, I I love you, Hassan. I got you a special gift for your birthday. Happy birthday, dear Hassan.
Happy birthday to you.
Moving on to local jellyfish, Ludwig. A chatter asked him about the Charlie Kirk situation, and he disavowed it, sorta, while randomly bringing up Palestine for no reason. And we'll get to his chat as well, which is very similar to Hassan's chat, actually.
Are you talking about Charlie Kirk? Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, bro. But no, I don't generally do politics. Most of the time I watch TikToks. If you look at my last few videos, rest in piss. I think that's, I don't like that. I'm not as ghoulish as other people. I see a lot of very ghoulish people online. People celebrate the death of other people so casually. And not just in this Charlie Kirk incident. I think I see a lot of people do it about the lives of like Palestinians. I see a lot of people do it about the lives of like politicians. And there's just such a callousness to life that I find so gross.
You know what's gross? Your audience, Ludwig, saying rest in peace is not a good response right there. Jellywig be like, I find it so gross. The callousness to life. It's disgusting. Don't mind me. About to play another game of basketball with my best buddy Hamas Piker and, you know, look at nudes with him. Also, my girlfriend's gonna inflate his wallets even more with her podcast. Also, dude, why the fuck do these guys always need to bring up Palestine out of nowhere? Bro, you can just say it's wrong without immediately bringing up something else to downplay it. It's just so stupid and performative. Basically what's happening here is Ludwig's audience has a big crossover with Hassan's audience, and he's not allowed to say that celebrating someone's death is bad without people shitting on him for it. So he has to instantly bring up something they agree with, right? Like Palestine. So he's like, Charlie Kirk's assassination is bad, guys, but don't criticize me. Palestine, guys. I said Palestine as well. You can't criticize me. I said Gaza situation bad, please.
And ultimately, you know, unless we're talking about like a fucking murderer, you know, someone who's truly taken the lives of other people directly, I just think it's shit. I think it's a shit thing to do. What if it leads to murders with words? Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on your point of view, that is like the price of freedom of speech. And I'm for it. Do I think he had good speech? No, but that is what freedom of speech is. So I don't know if I agree with that sentiment.
So he says, yes, Charlie's assassination is bad, but his words probably led to more deaths, essentially implying that in some twisted world, it's justified. You are such a damn jellyfish. Like, how hard is it to condemn something without inserting 50 points to defend yourself in between it? Like, dude, if your audience is hounding you for saying that celebrating a death is bad, then your audience sucks and you need a new one. The fact that you share similar viewers to Hassan Piker is absolutely disgusting and embarrassing. You should be ashamed. Look at this chat. Charlie Kirk, rest in piss, bozo. Rest in piss. Rest in piss. I think if someone doesn't have regard for other people's lives, I don't care for theirs either. Because he thinks deaths from gun violence are worth it and now he's one of them. Freedom of speech means that I can say rest in piss too. Smiley. He didn't care about kids in school shootings. Like, this is just blatantly false, by the way. Assassination shouldn't be the norm, but Kirk wholeheartedly deserved it. Jellywig continues to be spineless, a tale as old as time. Right, next let's check out the Hassan Piker articles popping up. Hassan sat down with Politico for an interview centered around Charlie Kirk and where America goes from here. I can't let fear dictate my life, Hassan Piker on the fallout from Charlie Kirk's killing. What is the best case of scenario where we go from here as a society? Best case is comprehensive gun reform. That sounds insane. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Worst case is what I'm seeing on Twitter. More and more of Twitter becoming real life, where people are getting increasingly more belligerent, increasingly more angry. Eventually going to be a boiling point, right? Has to be a point where all of that anger and frustration mounts, and in the absence of any sort of pressure valve, I think people look for different targets that they have designed as why they feel the way they need to do. It can be a litany of different marginalized population. What are you on about, bro? Holy shit, you encourage this shit. This guy's on stream saying KX person, and he's like, well, this is getting too far. Black and brown people, undocumented migrants, trans people. This guy's still fucking virtue signaling. You don't care about any of these groups, bro. I fear that is the worst case scenario. People in this decentralized way seeking out vengeance, seeking out some distorted sense of justice justice in their own minds. Says the guy who implied that Charlie brought this upon himself and then, you know, he fostered this landscape. And then I think political persecution. I mean, Trump just came out and released a video where he said, we're going to go after the left. We're going to go after everyone that's demonized the right, while also simultaneously saying we're going to do this in the spirit of free speech. Dude, a guy just tried to exercise his free speech and got shot for it. Yes, they should go after the people who, A, did the shooting, and the people who led to this. If you are constantly lying and slandering people, calling people Nazis and fascists, people are going to be justified in thinking they should go and murder these Nazis and fascists, because in a hypothetical world where everybody's evil, then this would be justified, right? But that is not the case. What do you think it said about Charlie Kirk that he thought debate was one of the ways to release the pressure valve? Yeah, so the entire thing about Charlie was that he wanted to talk to the opposing side, right? You know, discuss those viewpoints. I don't think he was ever debating for the purpose of finding the truth or from a position of intellectual curiosity. Oh my God, this fucking guy. Somebody needs to explain to this guy that he legitimately is the biggest projector in human history. This guy, dude, after 100 episodes, I'm starting to get pissed off, bro. Debates are only productive in the sense to contest your opinion. Dude, in your debate against Ethan Klein that you lost, all you did was call him a racist piece of shit and crash out when he exposed the shit out of you. For Charlie, I think the format was more so to humiliate his ideological opponents, and he was very successful at doing propaganda of this sort. But going to college campuses and listening to what people had to say and then giving them the right-wing talking points on the matter. Dude, you're literally saying he's listening to what people had to say. He lets people speak on the mic. That is exactly what turns down the temperature. That is exactly like letting people convey their points. Meanwhile, Hassan just wants to silence all criticism. There is some productivity that you can derive out of debates, which is why I was entertaining doing it with Charlie. Well, you know what your chat was saying about it. Debate is corpse, right? Hassan sat down for another interview. Dude, can we stop giving this guy? Dude, this guy like owns the media or something, bro. Are these all Taylor Lorenz's roaches or something? Hassan Piker, Charlie Kirk and his political ideology deserve an honest assessment. Says the guy trying to lie and slander him over and over again. This dude is doing a straight up press tour about a man who just got assassinated and left behind his 2 children and a wife. Hassan Piker is a huge pile of shit. Moving on to more people celebrating the assassination. This is our youth, guys.
How do you feel about Charlie Kirk getting assassinated?
Some people say it's deserved.
To get murdered in front of his children and family?
When God calls you home, you gotta go.
You think God called him home? It's well deserved. For him specifically getting killed, womp womp, he got what he deserved. Honestly, I feel like he just got what he deserved. No shade.
Don't you think it's disgusting to be celebrating someone's death?
Well, coming from a perspective as a woman of color, and
that justifies it?
100%, I feel like. Because nobody gave a f when it was MLK, Malcolm X. Like,
we don't like those kind of deaths either.
There's no group of white people that I see pushing so hard for those type of deaths.
That was a while ago. We equally condemn those deaths.
Do we? I mean,
you're talking to me right now. You think that most conservative white men want black people to die?
Well, the one who recently just died, Charlie, definitely thought so. You basically wanted black people to be slaves.
No, he didn't. What the heck? Like, dude, you can disagree with him. You can debate his views, but this nonstop slander and disgusting lies need to stop. He never said that shit unless your source is Hassan Piker. In that case, kind of makes sense, I guess. I've just seen so many lies floating around, so many quotes and clips out of context to smear this guy right after he died and essentially justify his death. Like, oh yeah, he hated gay people. He hated trans people. He wanted kids to die from school shootings. Like, of course, completely unhinged shit. Obviously, he doesn't want kids to die from school shootings. Like, you people are just fucking evil, obviously. You're purposely misrepresenting him any way you can in order to demonize him instead of actually just fighting the beliefs, right? You couldn't debate him, so you killed him, right? If you disagree with him on gun control or any of the conservative beliefs, you should debate the positions. Don't try to get a free win by saying, well, he wanted back. Like, of course he fucking didn't. Everybody with a brain cell knows that that's not true, and Hassan and all these lunatics spreading these like fake clips and out of context quotes is just disgusting. Considering Hassan cries about this shit all the time, it's just crazy to me.
I feel like, what are you talking about?
I feel like if you wish death on other people, for that to happen to you, it's kind of like, that's just karma.
Who does he wish death on?
He said awful things about trans people, doesn't care about their rights, or like, he's a conservative.
So if you don't like trans people, you deserve to be shot in the neck?
100%. 100% the people who oppress us deserve to die. Like,
So if you don't like trans people, you deserve to be shot in the neck.
yes, like he made it very known verbally that he does not support any of us, and he spoke reckless, and I guess he got hit for that. So he put himself at risk saying all those nasty ass things and then going publicly in front of people. And plus, he was the same person that said guns lives matter, right? So obviously, what happened to him is just like he would approve of it. Guns lives matter. Someone used the gun, and it saved lives. We agree. We agree. I agree. I don't care if it's ignorance or coming out of hatred from my heart. It's opinionated.
Yeah, that just shows you the IQ of these people. What the heck is guns lives matter? I have never heard that in my entire life. That's how you know this person has no idea what they're even talking about. You took Black Lives Matter and guns and combined it into Guns Lives Matter. I've literally never heard that, you absolute imbecile. It's an inanimate object. It doesn't have a life. The issue being debated is gun control, not Guns Lives Matter, you fucking peon. And about the LGBT thing, you're allowed to have your beliefs. You don't deserve to get shot for it. And I highly doubt you represented him correctly in any capacity, obviously. No soul, zero intellectual capacity, celebrates the death of someone they've never clearly listened to. Are these people actually demons? I'd say I hope her professional career is over, but she doesn't appear to be a professional at anything. Shows how brainwashed these people are, it really does. Moving on to Charlie's wife talking about their daughter. Erica Kirk heartbreakingly recounts her answer to her daughter asking, "Where's daddy?" You. Yeah, this is just sad, man. People celebrating the shit when a 3-year-old just lost their dad and a wife lost her husband. Actually mentally ill generation. Moving on to Asmon going scorched earth. He's now calling out people who are celebrating Charlie's death, and there's this whole movement to get these people fired and to hold them accountable.
One of these companies and you have a person like this doing it, make sure to talk to HR and let them know how uncomfortable you feel that there's a person who's working at your company who might want to advocate to have you killed because you disagree with them. Tell them that it makes you afraid to come into work. Tell them that, you know, you don't know, maybe you're going to file a lawsuit. You feel unsafe at your workplace. And honestly, here's the important thing. You should feel unsafe, because these people would justify violence against anybody who disagrees with them. And just because you think you know them doesn't mean they wouldn't do the exact same thing to you. Let me ask you a very simple question. If these people made a degrading comment towards the trans community, for example, or towards the black community, for example, do you think Sucker Punch would have immediately fired them and made a statement? I think so, absolutely. But for some reason, these people are protected. And the reason why they're protected is because there's a lot of other ones at the company that feel the exact same way that they do. That's the only logical reason that I have. And I think that at a certain point, Sony or somebody needs to step in. Whoever owns this company needs to step in and root out this disease before it kills the entire company. Because I do think that it will have a tremendously negative effect on the game.
Yeah, so a lot of people are starting to do this now. I feel like if you feel unsafe at your workplace and people threaten you or celebrate the death of people with your beliefs, you are perfectly entitled to file a report just for your own safety and, you know, security, right? And this has been boiling for a long time now, and people have honestly had enough. I mean, I've been ranting about these lunatics for 100 episodes, right? And I'm almost certain we're gonna get to 200 at this point from the amount of psychos running around. So more content for you guys, I suppose. The worst thing about Hassan is that he spawns in 5,000 more Hassans every day, and that's the truly tragic part. Asmongold wants to make his ex-community ground zero for holding leftists and media accountable for their violent political rhetoric.
But it doesn't sound as good as these, you know, vapid, like Yas Queen comments that people like her make on Blue Sky that have absolutely no pushback because they're on their own protected reservation away from anybody whose opinions could be different than their own. And that's the reason. And also, those are the only people that are still left on the platform. And soon, if with enough effort and enough work, we can have enough of these people removed from our media, and removed from our public discourse, and removed from any sort of positions of power where they can exercise their completely maladjusted, totally deranged viewpoints and worldview. Collectively, we can contact their employers, contact the people that are around them, and have them get fired from their job.
I think everybody deserves to feel safe and speak freely without fear of violence. And I feel like this is the first step to root out these insane, violent, psychotic people. You can't just be posting this shit online with no consequences, right? You have free speech, but you also have freedom of consequences. Now, you gotta make sure it doesn't go too far. Obviously, make sure that you don't go after innocent people. Of course, you know, confirm that these people actually said these things. But yeah, I do see why this is happening. This is actually a lukewarm response, because if this happened to someone on Hassan's side, he would be advocating, you know, violent retaliation, of course. Hassan out there saying we need to bask in capitalist blood, of course. Asmon going, well, we should report them to your employer. It just shows like different levels here. Moving on to Tectone's response, and he calls out Hassan here, says he's becoming more radicalized after the wave of murders, calls out the double standards on social media platforms.
What the f are we doing? What are we doing where we are sympathizing with fucking murderers? What are we doing when websites are protecting people from being called fat and ugly and a whore more than we're punishing people for calling for the deaths of our senators, as well as the citizens, as well as radicalizing audiences to enact violence while recording themselves breaking the fucking law? Are we all seeing the same fucking shit online? Are we... Guys, I have been banned for nearly 2 months total over the past 4 months for calling people names, yet there are people out there calling for the deaths of other people, political figures, and attempting to radicalize and weaponize their fucking audience to hurt people and kill them, who have gone unpunished. This is disgusting. It's absolutely fucking disgusting. It's pathetic. It's a joke. I can literally feel in real time myself becoming radicalized because this country is forcing me to. These people are forcing me to because the people in charge are a fucking joke.
Yeah, everybody is feeling this anger right now, and I think it's pretty important to not become radicalized yourself. Never give in to these insane people trying to bring you down. Never stoop to their level. Never return violence with violence, because that just makes you a demon, you know? You'd never want to get to that point. But I understand why so many people are so mad, and so many people are done playing nice. Now, I always disavow violence of any kind towards anyone, regardless of if I disagree with them, but unfortunately, I cannot say the same for the other side. Apparently, a lot of these people find it okay. They celebrate it, and that saddens me. The thing people don't realize is it's not just one isolated incident. It's an indication of the current political climate. The celebration really just revealed everybody's true colors. A lot of these psychos are just out there in the open, and that is just a scary prospect. Just know that for every Hassan, there's millions of Hassan fans, and that's the scary part. We've seen his chat before. We know how crazy it is. This series really started off as YouTube drama, but now it's escalating to something more real. And you know, despite the fact that it's getting into uncharted territory here, I'm still proud to play a part in, you know, informing people of the actual truth, right? Being on the right side against this violence and disgusting behavior, and just standing up for basic human empathy here. You know, if I can even make one less person radicalized by Hamas piker here, then, you know, I've done my job. Now click this video or your kid becomes a Hamas piker fan. If you're new here and don't like Hassan, check out the other 100 episodes. It'll be pretty fun. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.